Hello, so that's official now. So Keir Starmer and Angela Rayner did not break the lockdown protocol. They have not been found guilty or issued with fines. So I hope now that Nadine Dorries will finally stop whinging on and on about this, writing Twitter after Twitter message about this alleged rule breaking, which wasn't rule breaking. They have been completely exonerated, and now I hope she, as the cheerleader of this movement against Sir Keir Starmer and Angela Rayner, will get on with doing the job which she was appointed to do, which is to manage the digital media, culture and sport ministry. I hope she will now get round to, in the next few months, when the pressure is off, when she doesn't need to cheerlead for Boris anymore, when she doesn't need to defend the things that she has or hasn't done. She simply has to do her job. I hope she can now get round to opening her mail and answering the letters that I have sent to her. I think these are important issues. The issue of reality TV is an important one. It started in the 1990s, really, when there was an American actors' strike, and television production was looking around for cheap TV. It also goes back to the enormous fees commanded by the actors in Friends. How wonderful it would be if one could have television that didn't cost anything, where you didn't have to pay the people who were appearing night after night on the telly. And we've got to that point. We've got to that point. Our television is saturated with reality TV. And it's not just that these performers are not paid. These performers are not given the support which any other performer in any other sphere would be given. They are not given access to a union. They are not given access or proper agents or managers for the work that they are doing. They are not given that care. And more than that, since the DCMS committee met to review the problems associated with Love Island and the Jeremy Kyle show and the deaths that took place, why is Love Island still being commissioned? Because it brings in so much money. Because it brings in so much advertising. It is something that cannot be left to fail. It cannot afford to fail. ITV is dependent on it because they do not want to pay real performers. Also, it's popular. So we need to protect it. So to stop that committee simply because we had an election that arguably should never have taken place, an election which gave Boris the majority that he's been crowing about ever since, that committee should have been reconvened. It's up to Nadine Dorries to do so and take proper evidence. Evidence was only ever heard from people who were working in production and from 4 performers who appeared on Love Island and Jeremy Kyle. That is not a fair and unbiased testimony. And what have we got now? We've got now a situation where even more control is given to production. Production controls the people who are on these programs for the next 18 months. If production is dodgy, these people's lives are in serious danger. I am not surprised at all that suicides have continued and that people's health has suffered. It's got nothing to do with fame or the loss of fame or people being miffed because they didn't win a particular program. It's to do with the manipulation which is now rubber stamped by this ineffective ministry ruled by a person who cannot be bothered to open her mail. I'm awaiting a response to my letters, and I wrote to Nadine Dorries initially on the day she was appointed. That was also a day or two before I went into hospital for cancer surgery, and I pointed that out in my letter. And even then, she did nothing for 6 months, and it wasn't until I wrote to Boris Johnson that I finally got a fairly desultory and derisory brush off from a junior minister called Lopez, who resigned the other day. She was one of the many who contributed to the pressure on Boris to go. So well done, Miss Lopez. Bye-bye.